Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Tech Motoring. On today's episode we're going to be reviewing this. This is the AOSK Center Armrest Console cover for your Mustang Mach-E. So hit that subscribe button and stay tuned because we're coming right back at you. All right, everybody. Well, like I was saying, here we have the AOSK Center Armrest Console cover. So basically, you can cover the armrest in your Mach-E with something that's going to be a little bit more comfortable and something that might have a little bit of style to it. And as you can see, it does have these really nice stitching across it. Now, obviously, this is going to be based on your opinion, whether or not you like that style of stitching, but it does look really nice and it does match the interior of the Mach-E very well. Like, it's really close to the actual stitching of the Mach-E color-wise and everything. So now this is made out of a PU leather, which is a polyurethane leather. So this is not an actual piece of leather, but this has really good feeling texture of actual leather. So it'll also hold up probably a little bit better than, your actual leather in your vehicle. But of course, you would rather replace something like this that's relatively cheap versus having to replace your entire piece of leather center console, basically. So this could be really good, for those of you who might have seat covers on your cars because you're worried about the actual leather of the seat. This is also probably a good addition to that, where you can actually cover your center console as well. Obviously, everybody's opinion is a little different on this, but let's take a look at the product today and let's take a look and see how exactly this fits on the vehicle. Okay, so on the bottom, you see that we have these two elastic straps here. So as you can see, they're offset. They're not in the center because this is going to be the front of your center console, and then this is going to be the back. So this has to get tucked to the front, and then these have to go underneath to hold it down flat, and then this will get tucked around the back of the console here. So let's go ahead and take a look at this and see how this goes on. All right, so here we are in the back seat because this will be easier for me to get this on. So what we're going to do is we're just going to slip these two straps underneath this right here. And we're going to take that, make sure those straps get underneath, like so. Make sure they're flat. And we're going to make sure the front is tucked real good. And then I think we just need to kind of shimmy this down a little bit. Try to get it tucked around the sides and the back. It's really tight, which is good because that means it's not going to really shift all that much on you. So just you could see from the back here, it just kind of tucks underneath like that. And obviously when this gets warm, it'll flex a little bit more. So it'll be able to, conform a little bit easier. Maybe if I had it out in the sun for a few minutes and then decided to put it on the car, I think maybe then it would probably be a little easier to put on. But I was able to stretch it around, get it all the way to the back here, so it looks good. So this is how it looks. Looks pretty nice. I think it looks really nice. So now we got to see the comfort test. So is it really more comfortable than the regular, original OE armrest? Well, I guess that's what we're going to have to find out now. So let's go take the car for a ride and see. All right, well, we've just come back from a nice ride with the new AOSK Center Armrest cover here. And I gotta admit, it is nice. It brings up the armrest a little bit, so it's a little bit higher than the factory height of the armrest, which is really nice. It's got a little bit more cushion than the factory armrest, so it's a little bit more comfortable for kind of keeping your arm on it for a long amount of time. The design, I'm not crazy about the design. I think the design's okay, but I mean, it's different than the factory, so I think that's what you're trying to go for there. The other nice thing about this is that it doesn't actually hit the seats when you lift up the armrest too. So there is still space, even though it's wider than the factory armrest, it actually does clear the seat. So at least you're not gonna get any type of wear from, rubbing up against the sides of the seat over time. It doesn't shift around at all. So, I mean, I tried to put some effort into, shifting this thing either forward or backwards or even to the sides, and it doesn't want to move at all. Now for the longevity of it, I can't really speak for that right now, but I think you would just clean this like you would, you know, your seats or anything else, and you would probably have it for a really long time. It does seem to be pretty durable as far as the material goes, and once again, it's a polyurethane leather, so it's like an artificial leather. But I mean, you know, for what it is, for what its purpose is, you know, it's cheap enough to replace every few years if you absolutely had to, and you know, it's not going to wear your normal OEM console cover there, which, you know, let's face it, I've had cars where, you know, after 4 or 5 years of leaning into the console like this, you end up leaving, you know, stains or something inside of that. So this is a lot easier to probably take care of, number one, plus you could remove it to clean it if you needed to. And number two, if you needed to replace it for a small fee, you could just get a brand new one and throw it in here. The color of the black of this is slightly darker than my seats. That's the one thing that's kind of like, okay, when they're right next to each other, you can see the color difference, but from a distance, you really couldn't tell a difference between the two colors. But this does appear to be a little bit darker color than the dark seats in the Mach-E. So I'd like to thank AOSK for sending this product out to me to review. It's a very nice product. I think it fits very well and hopefully will last a very long time. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up just below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check us out on our website, techmotoring.com, facebook.com/techmotoring, on Twitter @techmotoring. I'd like to thank you very much again for watching. And remember, welcome to the future and welcome to Tech Motoring. And we'll see you on the next episode.